And you mentioned the run that started at number 8 with the Atlanta Falcons. Last year they took Kyle Pitts, a great pass-catching tight end, with the 4th selection. This year it's Drake London with the 8th overall pick. Chris, I guess it didn't hurt him to not run the 40. He said, I'm not running the 40 before the draft. Go watch my film. Falcons watched his film. Falcons like what they saw.
Yeah, I get it. I do. I mean, the 40 is the one concern you have about him. His straight speed is not like, wowing. But, Mike, you've heard me say before, size is a skill. It is. I mean, when you're that big, and it's the most unbelievable thing you've seen, Mike. I mean, the 50-50 balls, he's the best that's ever come out of college with these type of things. Back shoulders, 50-50 balls. It is 80-20 with Drake London. And then the route running is that of a smaller human being. He has unbelievable feet and ability to, kind of know how to use the right body language to get a guy going this way and then put his foot in the ground and go the other way. He's very good with that. So there's almost like some slot value to the guy too. He's a safe pick that way. And then, damn, you said it, with him and Kyle Pitts. Holy cow. Good luck, everybody out there. If you don't have big corners, I don't care how you cover these guys. You could be in their hip pocket. They're just so big, they're still going to catch the ball, and that's going to be a real issue for teams matching up with the Atlanta Falcons.
And the run continued because after the Falcons went with Drake London at 8, now the Seahawks opted to stay put and take a tackle in Charles Cross, who was hanging around, I think, longer than folks thought that he would. But then at number 10, the Jets do not trade the pick to the 49ers for Deebo Samuel. They take Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. And then the Saints trade up to 11 to take Chris Olave from Ohio State. Buckeye receivers back-to-back, which just, again, underscores what we've been saying. Teams value the players at that position, and they were making the moves to get them. The Jets by staying put, the Saints by jumping from 16 to 11.
Yeah, well, Olave to the Saints, I think that was like one that, made a lot of sense in a lot of ways. I could see that marriage. Great route runner, right? Can do all the things that offense and Sean Payton has done, and he has the speed to go deep and do that. He's really an all-around, well-rounded receiver. And same with Wilson. I mean, Garrett Wilson to the Jets. I thought the Jets are one of the teams that won the draft for sure. To get Sauce Gardner, the best corner in the draft in my opinion. They trade up late in the first round and get Jermaine Johnson the third. And then you give your biggest asset on your football team, Zach Wilson, another weapon. And you go, okay, man, the Jets not next year. The offensive line's in a pretty good spot. You got the quarterback, and you talk about Corey Davis, second-round pick from the 2021 draft, Elijah Moore, added with this guy right here, and you go, Jets got a little something at receiver here because Wilson can fly. I mean, he can run, and he's got a little size too, and he's going to be a great fit for the New York Jets. He was a little high for me at number 10, but still, if you love him, you're committed to him, go get him.
He was a little high for you at number 10, huh? That sounds like
well, maybe he wasn't high enough for me,
based on last night. No, and then we go from Olave to the trade that sent the Lions from 32 to 12. And the first thought was, they really are serious about a quarterback. They were looking at Kenny Pickett. They were looking at Malik Willis, and maybe they're making this move to cut off the Steelers before they could jump up to try to get somebody.
Right.
And it ends up that they snatch Jameson Williams, the guy who I think would have been the first receiver taken, but for the torn ACL suffered in the national championship. I really am surprised the Vikings facilitated the Lions' move. I really am. And they got the 32nd pick, the 34th pick, and an early third-round pick for it. They didn't even get a future first-rounder. I thought at a minimum, you drop 20 spots, you're going to get a future first-rounder. But if they're comfortable with what they think they're going to get in the range that they acquired those picks, so be it. But the Jameson Williams pick was a surprise. The trade was a surprise, and the Lions taking Williams was a surprise. Wouldn't have been a surprise 15, 20 years ago when Matt Millen was picking first-round receivers every year. Definitely a surprise now.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Mike, I think the value in the trade in a lot of ways, too, with this draft, and you've heard people say this, I'm not breaking news, a lot of the NFL looks at it and goes, man, the second and third round is where it's at. That's where I think a lot of the teams think there's tremendous value. So, hey, you got the pick 32, 34. You got one of the picks tonight to get a premium player that I bet a lot of teams thought would have gone in the first round. But when it pertains to Jameson Williams, when I was sitting there and saw the trade, people at NBC will tell you I was going, it's got to be Jameson Williams. It's got to be. I just knew too many people in football who had him, at the top of their board as one of the best players in the draft, top 5 player on their board, top 8 player on their board. So then he was sitting there at 12, and that kind of move that they did there tells me that they had Jameson Williams up there as a top 5, top 6 player on their draft board, because that's when you make that move to go, wait, he's at 12, and it's going to cost this to get him, and we think he's worth that. Well, this is where it matches. It all matches, the perfect world. We have a need at the position. We think he's way better than the spot he's at right now. Let's make the move. Let's make the trade. And Jameson Williams is ready to bite some kneecaps off, too. He was pissed off walking to the podium. I guarantee he was pissed those Ohio State kids went before he did. And there's a little personal, he transferred. He had to leave there and go to Alabama. So they're going to get a guy with an attitude and, like you always talk about, a chip on his shoulder, which is going to be a good thing. He's going to be mad, even though he's still picked 13 or 12 and going to be an unbelievable player.
It's a huge factor in the psychology of the receiver. You go later than you thought. You go behind guys that you know you're better than. It lights a fire instead of being complacent like you can be if you're the first guy taken.
Right.
Drake London's going to have to get his motivation elsewhere. Jameson Williams, only 4 picks later, his motivation is baked in. But, Chris, it was Charles Rogers in 2003, your guy Roy Williams in 2004, Mike Williams in 2005,
holy cow,
Calvin Johnson in 2007. 4 out of 5 years they took receivers in round 1, and they had not taken a first-round receiver since then. Here we are, 15 years later. Jameson Williams, another Williams, the third Williams.
It's amazing. That's what I was going to say. They got an obsession with Williams.
Detroit Lions. Unbelievable.
Man.
They're saving money on the nameplates on the back of the receiver jerseys.
And they got to be pumped.
The Lions.
They got to be pumped.
What a move.
Right?
Well, and then they have Aiden Hutchinson.
Exactly. We didn't talk about it yet. Right.
I don't know what people were thinking. I understand that there is a business component to what we do in the media, and we'd like to create drama wherever we can. But let's not go crazy about it. There were people who were like, oh, I don't know, the Lions may take Kayvon Thibodeau. Oh, I don't know, the Lions may go quarterback. Oh, I don't. Aiden Hutchinson was an absolute, positive, complete, and total no-brainer pick.
Right. It was perfection.
Absolute no-brainer pick. That's the guy they would have taken if they had the number 1 overall pick.
Yes, it's the football gods aligned. It just made so many sense in so many ways. Michigan, the guy himself, like we talked about, him and Dan Campbell look like they could cut off the sleeves of a hoodie and walk down, and you'd be like, I don't know. They're just bros. They're awesome together. So it was perfect. I thought the Lions were one of the teams that won the draft. Last thing here, because I know we got to go to a break here, but here's the other thing I'll do in the future, and this is, I know you're going to like this. This is candy for you right here. I'm going to listen to the sports books and the gambling sites a little bit about
absolutely,
because obviously they were clued in last night. They were clued in. They knew what was going to go down, and that to me was shocking in a lot of ways. I would have lost a lot of money last night if I bet on that.
They got plenty of reasons.
Yeah,
they got plenty of reasons.
But it's a real thing.
Although you would have won. You would have won the Kayvon Thibodeau.
I know. I got
over
it.
4.5.
Right,
you would have won that one. Barely.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.